Hey guys, it's Kim, and welcome back. Hopefully the new audio will work. I got a microphone, but I don't think it's actually that much better. So side note, please higher the volume if you guys can't hear. But I hope you guys enjoy the battle report today. It will be 800 points. I'm playing against Tom Clucci's Thranduil Hall, so I'm very excited for it. So hope you guys enjoy it. So guys, here is my 800 point army. The first warband is led by Groblog. He has 2 Prowlers, 3 Spear Goblins, 6 regular Goblins of Shields, and a Marauder. Moving to the back, we have a Captain with a Shield. He's leading 2 Prowlers, 3 Spear Goblins, and 5 Goblins with Shield. Moving on to the biggest model in the army is my General, a Dragon. I gave him the Fly upgrade and the Breathe Fire upgrade, so he has 350 points total. Going down, we have a Marauder, 2 Black Shields, then he's leading 4 Shield Goblins, 3 Prowlers, 4 Goblins of Spears, and a Bat Swarm. And on to the last warband is a Shaman. He's leading 6 Goblins, 4 with Shields, and 2 with Spears. So this is my total 800 point Moria army. Total body count is 47, and there is a total of 9 might. Here is Tom Clucci's Thranduil Hall army, so he'll go off discussing his army.
So Thranduil will lead a warband of 18 models with 6 Palace Guard, 5 bows, and other Mirkwood stuff.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry. Legolas will lead a 12-man warband, and then of Mirkwood warriors. And last but not least, Tariel will lead a warband with 4 rangers and 2 Mirkwood warriors with blades.
Yep. So here's Tom Clucci, one of the best painters I know. Here's his 800 point elf army. So deployment, my first warband with Groblog went to this corner. Moving along, we have the bulk of my army in the middle. The captain is right here. Moving down, the shaman, the bat swarm, of course the dragon himself is in the central position. Then the rest of my goblins. So I'll just tell Tom now, I'm focusing one objective over the other 2 in the back for now. Going over to Tom, we have Thranduil's whole warband on an objective, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Going down in the middle, we have Legolas with all of his amazing warriors. And on the flank, holding the objective is Tariel. So here is the deployment. So we're gonna go on to turn 1. So the end of Moria, movement 1, Groblog and his warband just moved up 5 inches. The captain moved with his warband. The Fury Shaman did get his channel off. So it's covering most of the army. This line continued to move. My dragon half moved. We have a few more goblins here. And then we have the Marauder holding position. So that is the end of Moria Goblin turn 1. So at the end of Tom's movement 1, Tom, you want to run us through what you did?
I didn't move here. Stayed, held my position. Here, I only moved 3 Mirkwood warriors with glaives going that way. And then here I moved 2/3 of my warband up, led by Thranduil, who's now out of sight of the dragon. Left my archers back.
Yep, so that is the end of movement for turn 1. We'll be back after the shooting. So at the end of turn 1 shooting, I started off with my 2 Marauders, and I'm not going to show them, they both did nothing. But the dragon half moved, so he couldn't shoot his flaming attack. It cost me a will. I shot forward, I rolled a 6, hitting 8 elves. I killed 4 of the shield elves, and Legolas, I had to burn a might to wound him. But in response, Tom used 2 fate and 2 might to live. So I think it was a good trade-off for the dragon. So the stats look like 2 might, 2 will, 3 fate to Legolas's 1 might, 2 will, and 1 fate. And Tom responded with all of his guns. All the elves shot back. We lost a single goblin. Legolas did auto shoot my Fury Shaman, but we rolled the 6 up and we saved it. So that is the end of turn 1 shooting. So at the end of turn 2, goblins got priority. Groblog and his whole goons moved forward. The Marauder got a charge off. We're setting up for next turn. Every goblin is like you see, minus the Fury Shaman. I'm moving momentarily. This whole line moved forward. The dragon just half moved again, lining up to see everything he can. We're just outside 6 inches. We do not want Legolas charging in. These goblins moved, and we go down. My few goblins did run away because Mr. Thranduil actually is right through that little gap. So that is the end of Goblin turn 2. So on to turn 2 for Elves. Tom, you can run down what happened.
So on my right flank, I moved Tariel and a handful of Rangers and Mirkwood Warriors into combat with the Marauder, and just shoring up my flank. And I've got some reserves coming that I moved from the center to the right. On the right, in the center here, trying to avoid the dragon a bit, I charged almost everybody into combat, left myself a few bow shots, and then from my left, I shifted this way and got into combat here, and I'm setting up for the next turn.
And we should note right here, Tariel had to expend 2 points of will because she rolled the snake eyes, but she's in combat, and probably heard combat happening, so we'll get back after the shooting for turn 2. So turn 2 of shooting, a lot has happened. I guess we'll start off with my shooting. My 2 prowlers here, a shot, got through and killed the ranger. Then the next 2 prowlers, with an in the way, went through the goblin and killed another elf warrior. So the prowlers are doing good work. The 3 prowlers up front shot and killed one of the archers. Then the dragon did pay a point of will. I shot them with a combat in the way. I hit the combat unfortunately, and we killed 2 elf warriors and 2 goblins, thus no one is in combat. Tom responded. Those 2 archers shot my black shield, did no wounds. And this MVP of the game, this archer shot, got through my 1 in the way, wounded my dragon, and took a fate off of him. So that is the end of turn 2 shooting. At the bottom of combat for turn 2, we started with Tariel's heroic combat. They did win the fight, however, they didn't kill the goblins. She paid a might to kill another goblin, but unfortunately he lived, so the combat failed. Moving down, the ranger beat the goblin, but did not wound me. Over here, a spear goblin did kill a elf in combat, but Legolas and another one killed this goblin. And I believe that was the... Oh, and this elf did kill a goblin. So at the end of turn 2, the elves are taking casualties, but that's because the dragon is using almost all of his resources. So I have 1 will left, 2 might, and 2 fate. So on to turn 3. So beginning of turn 3, goblins won priority once again. Legolas and Tariel both called a heroic move, and my captain did call one as well. Tom won the roll-off, so obviously he went with Legolas first. He moved deeper into the tree. The 2 archers fled. We went to my next heroic combat move. Captain moved as he could, and we canceled Tariel and getting as many traps as possible. So we'll see if they can withstand all of the goblins. So we'll get back at the end of my regular movement for turn 3. Goblin 3 movement was very simple. My dragon fitted in. I obviously will do a heroic combat, I believe. And the remaining few goblins moved back. Marauder got a good alley of shooting, and both black shields are running for the objectives. So on to Tom's turn 3 movement. At the end of Tom's movement 3, Tom, if you want to take us through what move?
So I, after the heroic, mostly moved my left with Thranduil into a better position in the center.
Yep. And
then moved my archers, left 1 back, and the rest are going towards that objective. And that's pretty much it, really. 3 from behind are close to combat.
Yep, so that is the end of turn 3. We'll get back after probably no shooting, but we'll get back after. So at the end of turn 3 combat, Groblog and all the goblins here with the dragon, he called the combat. easily killing the ranger just so I could reposition my dragon for next turn. He couldn't get anywhere I wanted to, so that's it. Moving here, we killed another, I think, ranger of all the traps, but then Tariel only took a single wound. She lost the fight, but she faded. And this guy, he glaved and survived. She killed the prowler, and no one died here. Moving down this flank, this combat was a whiff. This combat was a whiff, and this elf killed Pablo. So that is the end of turn 3 combat. Guys, this is the top of turn 4. And I got priority once again. Tom didn't do anything. So my whole line just reformed. We moved back. They tried touching these guys, but we failed. Moving on, the dragon pulled back. We got all the traps we needed here. So that is the end of my movement for turn 3. So at the end of Tom's turn 3 movement, do you want to discuss what happened, Tom?
I moved Thranduil and company into combat and into center position. I also moved my archers more in the direction of that.
Yes, sir. So that is the end.
And then
Legolas
came out from under the tree, joined the combat.
So that is the end. Shooting might be epic because the dragon will most likely take a pot shot if in the way into some of these nice combats. So we'll get back to you guys at the end of shooting, turn 4. So turn 4 shooting was a very interesting one. The dragon had range, he half moved. He rolled a 3 to hit, which all he needed. He rolled a 6 to get past the in the way. We hit my own prowler in the combat. The prowler and the warrior did die, and we killed another elf. And because of the bow shot, we had to randomize, so we dismounted Thranduil. The rest of the elves, I rolled 1s and 2s, so they all lived. So that was my last point of will. The Thranduil responded by shooting finally. He rolled a 1, so nothing got hit. And my marauder did shoot, and he did nothing. And my prowler did shoot his dagger, and I ended up killing the lone goblin in the combat. So that is the end of shooting turn 4. At the end of turn 4 combat, I had called a heroic combat with Groblock. We did kill Tariel when she was trapped. We did, I think, a total of 6 wounds, just enough to kill her. Everyone else moved. We did, I think, I'm not gonna sum it up, but we cleaned up this whole flank. Because there's a lot of combats, a lot of guys died. This way, there's one elf warrior still alive. We make our way down. Surprisingly, Legolas did receive a wound on a single. He took a wound from a goblin, and this is what the battlefield looks like right now. Actually, in fact, Tom currently owns, or this is contested. He owns that one. I own 2 back here, and the 3rd or 4th or 5th one is contested back there. So on to turn 5. So turn 5, the goblins got priority once again. All I did was a little shuffle. The whole line moved a couple of inches. We failed a courage to charge Thranduil, so he's free to do what he wants. Moving up this line, Orcus scared the hell out of the goblin, couldn't do anything. And we are trapping and killing the rest of these guys to ensure we win this objective. So that is the end of my movement. On to turn 5 movement for Tom. So turn 5 movement for the elves. Tom, do you want to go over what happened?
Move from the center area into combat, protecting Thranduil from a charge next turn. Into combat here as well. That kind of sets me up to go that way.
Yep.
And then move this way here towards the objective.
So the battle lines are finally clashing, so we'll be back at the end of turn 5. At the end of turn 5 combat, we'll start off at this side. Tom came in strong, winning most of the fights. He killed the goblin here with the +1 to wounds from Thranduil's army benefit. Moving up, Orcus paid off and did like 3 wounds onto the goblin, thus killing him. Moving this way, a lowly goblin did kill a glaive warrior. Going this way, the trap did definitely kill him. But surprisingly, this warrior of Thranduil will not die. He's very tanky. And the captain here did win the fight with trapping, but we could not kill him. So this is the end of turn 5. Tom currently is 2 away from breaking, and I am still a decent way from not being broken. So on to turn 6. Turn 6, once again, Moria, very gracious. We got priority. Thanks to Fury, we managed to charge all the elves we wanted to. Marauder comes in, and the biggest one is the dragon is indeed charging into Legolas. He'll probably be peeled off by this single elf if he can pass his courage. Then we have a trap going on here, and another trap. So on to Tom Clucci's turn 6. On to turn 6 of Tom's movement. All we really did, Tom, was move a single dude into the dragon to peel off Legolas, right? Right. And of course, Tom's favorite combat. We got 2 bowers about to kill the objective holding of Black Shield. So we'll be back at the end of turn 6 combat. So guys, this is the end of turn 6 combat. We're gonna start with oh, actually, Thranduil did call a combat here. He easily won killing the Prowler and charged the Marauder. We'll get back to that afterwards. On my priority, my dragon had to pay a knight to beat this elf, and I barged. We re-engaged into Greenleaf, and we killed him. We rolled, I think, like 9 wounds. Finally doing it. Going down the line, we killed a few more warriors. The trap worked. We killed the last 2 in the corner, so we secured this objective. Going down the line, we killed a few, but Tom did actually punch a few goblins back because Thranduil benefit. But now the funny part, Thranduil charged the Marauder. I won the fight, and we knocked both of them down. But even with 8 dice, I did a single wound, but Tom used all 3 fate to save it. Going down to the middle, we didn't die, but Tom will own this objective. And now the favorite combat. Y'all didn't pray hard enough. My favorite Black Shield was trapped and he died, so Tom owns his objective. But Tom is broken, and I'm still a few bodies away. So on to turn 7 of the game. So guys, on to turn 7. Tom finally won priority.
First time.
So Tom, explain your movements, and then I'll go over my movements.
So tried to consolidate around Thranduil a little bit, but still hold the horde off with some single models. I plan to do a heroic combat here and maybe kill a few more. Try to win this objective. And,
he tied down the dragon.
Tied the dragon with 1. Yep. And was trying to tie the bat down, swarm down.
Yeah. And for my movements, we finally got all of my characters of might moving back up. My line formed a bit more, so hopefully we can not get broken this turn. So on to the end of combat for turn 7. At the end of turn 7 combat, we had a huge heroic combat from Thranduil and his entourage of elves killing the Marauder. They all came back swinging into the main line. They did kill a few goblins this turn, but Thranduil, unfortunately, after the amazing combat, did whiff, and he was rebutted back. We go up, my dragon won the combat. So it looks like on this side, most of my goblins are pouring through the alleyway. Tom has 14 models on the table, 9 to shatter him. So my goal is not to kill him too fast while I try to reclaim these objectives, or I can bank on Tom hopefully failing the courage, so they all flee off the objectives. So we'll be back at the beginning of turn 8. So guys, turn 8, it went to Tom. Oh, actually I had it.
You did. No, you did a heroic.
Oh yeah,
I had priority.
So you're right. Yeah. It is again the white tree, so it is Tom's priority. So my goblin captain here called the heroic move. The whole flank started crushing into the middle. The dragon managed to touch the middle objective, hopefully killing those 2. And Tom managed to again stop the flow of goblins. Fortunately, 1 elf here did flee, but again the 2 boys here are holding the objective. They stayed. And Philip, all the way back there, is holding it. So guys, that is the end of movement for turn 8. We'll be back at the end of combat, which I think this might be potentially the last turn, but we'll see. So guys, I'm going to give you a final overview shot of the whole board. So the game did end. Unfortunately, we did shatter Tom exactly to his 9th. And the final score is Tom owns this objective, that far objective over there. I own the middle and these 2 objectives. So the score at the end was a 7-4. Tom put a very good fight. His line kept holding the middle. Tom, you want to say anything real fast? Just how'd you
The dragon was tough and may have made the difference. I don't know if you take the dragon out and add a couple of your shamans and some spiders, it might be the same thing. But I had nothing for the dragon.
Tom did a very good job, guys. If y'all can see again in the battle report, Tom's painting. This is man 1 best painted at Nova. So everyone, look at his models. very gorgeous. So I hope you guys enjoyed the game.
So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the battle report. It was really fun to play. So expect another battle report coming this week, and of course more hobby videos. So please down below in the comments, y'all can leave me feedback. And of course, if you want to hit me up, please go check my Instagram out, as I am usually there more than on YouTube. So until then, guys, keep on hobbying, spread the hobby love, and see you guys.